guys, what is going on? I know you haven't seen me lately, but I have not been lazy. Exactly, it's the opposite. We have some brand spanking new art videos, and they will come out in a shorter frequency. Earlier I was doing it weekly, but they will follow up like bi-daily, maybe every 2 days. Yeah, so it's about a new project. I have a client, it's a commissioned work, and he built himself up a home gym and wants to have a logo for this. And the topic actually is that the name of the home gym is supposed to be Fisherman's Strength, and there has to be a fisherman which is shown on the logo, and it has to be a little bit of like, for a logo, cartoony, almost anime style. If you know animes like Baki or Kengan Ashura, for example, the singular muscles are very like contrasted, and like you see every single line. Like this style, and it's important that you understand what your client has in mind. There are some possibilities for creative freedom, which is actually very helpful, because then you help your client even better understand what he wants. Yeah, this was what the aim was. As a logo, you don't use a lot of colors, maybe just 2 colors or 3, and you have high contrast. The man on the logo is supposed to wear one of those typical fisherman hats or beanies, or what you call it. You will see it in the drawings, and a t-shirt with horizontal stripes on it. And yeah, the t-shirt was supposed to go up until the elbow, and that the focus is on the lower arm. The point is that, for example, this part of the arm is fleshy and you don't have a lot of contours. This side of the arm, because a lot of muscles are wrapping around it, have a lot of contours you can make. So this also has an effect on the logo. And yeah, we always have to keep in mind that it is supposed to be plotted later, and for that we need a specific color mode in Photoshop, which is called CMYK, which is specifically for plotting applications. And that's it so far. Let's jump right into the video, and you can watch me doing this. So let's go. So this is the first sketch I'm doing in this video, and I'm using hot pressed paper, which is very smooth, and it's very good for using blending stumps to create nice blendings. And it is moleskine paper, I hope I say it right. It has this typical ivory color. And right now I am constructing the body with some help lines, like those straight lines which are reaching to the right are the bones of the arms actually. So he's like holding, straighten out his arm. I'm already in the process that on the left side you see the torso with the edges of the rib cage, and the arm muscles wrapping around the bones. You can already tell that this person here has a really massive arm. And regarding the anatomy, you can see that the chest muscle, the pectoralis major, is connecting to the upper arm, and you have this fluid line which goes from this muscle, which I just mentioned, to like from this perspective into the biceps line. Exactly. And the perspective is that the head, you see the head from the side, but it's turning a little bit away from the observer, because it's looking at what this person is holding in the hand. which will be a fish, by the way. Because I see some relation between a fisherman and a fish, obviously. Already doing some facial expressions. There are different opinions about like how early going into the details. Of course, when you start out with the details, then it's really hard to get the proportions right, because you're gonna lose yourself there. I mean, here I already got the head right, so I wanted to just point out the most important specifics of a face, like a nose or a mouth. And for me personally, it has something motivational, because like of a man, the most expressional part of the upper body is the face. And when I already see that, I really like where the face is going, so I'm really getting psyched, and I have the resilience to put a lot of effort in it to make it a high quality result. So right now you see it looks like this person is bald, but later, I mean, I got the head right. I really like the form of the head. It's oval, it's not round, it's a little bit stretched to the back, and that will just help me to give a cap or a beanie as desired from the client on the head later. So regarding the muscles, you see the biceps clearly from this perspective. You can also see the triceps on the back of the upper arm. Actually, the triceps is a muscle which is bigger than the biceps. And like the word ceps stands for head, and triceps is for like 3 heads. The biceps has 2 heads, so you can already say just by the name. It's not always like that. If you watched my anatomy lesson, those names actually can be very misleading. But here it's clearly like how the muscle will look. And you have, again, you're looking to the lower arm, but it's like around the elbow it's really fleshy, and it gets rather bony around the wrist. So now I'm giving him the beanie I was talking about. The beanie is supposed to kind of get the form of the head right. Try to not to draw everything exactly from the side perspective, because it's gonna look artificial. Like, I mean, just look around in reality. When is it that you look something perfectly from the side? There's always like a little tilt in it. So you have to figure out, are you a little bit watching from underneath on it, or from a higher perspective? So here I chose, regarding the beanie, to look a little bit from the top on it. And that leads to that the round, like the part which is kind of wrapping around the forehead and the back part of the head, that the lines are a little bit curved and not perfectly straight. Yeah, we did a lot of work regarding the anatomy on the upper arm, but now we are putting it back into a t-shirt, because that was the wish of the client. But it still helps, because of course the t-shirt is of course covering the muscles, hiding them, but also giving an impression like how the t-shirt should fall around the anatomy underneath. And yeah, the basic form of the man is done, and now I'm going down and making the fish. A little bit out of camera, sorry for that, but he's holding it at the tail. If you want to know more about the drawing fishes, I already made like live streams and watercolor drawings out of it, triptych. And yeah, this seems to be a big fish. The guy just caught. He's looking at it, grabbing it by the tail. Yeah, I guess you can be proud if you catch a fish of this size. You already can see that I am already thinking about from where is the shadow coming, and therefore from where is the light coming, and therefore where is the shadow, the core shadows. And I'm just repeating it, like the core shadows, the darkest parts of the shadows are very close to the highlights. Just look at the lower arm and the elbow region I just drew. You can see that I made the corners of the shadow, but the darkest line is exactly at the border where it goes to the part where the light is falling on. And this is how it is actually in reality. Of course, it's a little bit exaggerated, but if you keep this process and do shadows like that, it's like, to me it was like an epiphany. It just gives so much value and realism to your drawings. So right now I'm already adding the stripes to the shirt. I'm colorizing it, not colorizing it, but like cross-hatching it. Colorizing will be happening in Photoshop. I didn't use the blending stump yet, that will also follow. Adding some more details. Those lines are really just random, you know, there was no reference having those lines. I was just imagining, like, if there was a pattern on it, how would it wrap around the geometrical figure, in this case of a fish? Because this will help the viewer to understand the form, the three-dimensionality. So those can be just fantasy lines, but they have to create some sort of volume. Now you see the whole fish as well again. And now I started using the blending stump. Yeah, I always have like one side for like where some of the graphite is already from previous blendings on it, and the other one I try to keep it clean. You have like sandpaper where you can clean it off. And yeah, with a let me call it the dirty side, I can really create those effects where I can easily, it's like a brush, you know, and but it kind of muds down your pencil sketch. So it's always a process of, you use the pencil, then you use the blending stump, then you go back to the mechanical pencil doing the contours, and yeah, until you reach a stage where you say, okay, that's enough for this process. Yeah, and you can also see that the strongest lines, the highest contrast, is in the area of the face, because contrast attracts the eye of the observer. So you don't have to make them that strong in other areas. Adding some final touches. For example, you can, when it is in a shadow area, you make the line stronger. When it goes to a lighter area, you release some pressure. That creates also a nice effect. And we are here done with the first sketch. And in the next video, I will show you the second one. So I see you there.